right, so another day, another Conor McGregor video. We have a lot of updates. I haven't done one on Conor in a long time because we haven't had the updates. But today, we got a bunch. We got Eddie Hearn talking about Conor's comeback with the UFC. We got Conor getting accused of cheating on his wife with this chick that I've been saying, if you think there's any chance that Conor is not smashing this, you are out of your mind. And I'm going to prove it to you with everything except a video of Conor and Ebanie Bridges together. She's a champion boxer too, dude. Look at that. A nice little piece that girl is. And she's a champion boxer. You could do worse for your public side piece that 100% of people know that you are smashing, except for people who for some reason live in denial. But yeah, so there's a whole other thing here, again, with Ebanie Bridges. I'm going to talk about that. Another thing you can expect is this story proving that what is happening right now between UFC and Conor McGregor is a contract negotiation. Now there's no question. Absolutely no question, and I'm going to show you how I know. Which brings us to a conversation about why Conor McGregor and Chandler are not on UFC 300, obviously related to this. But now we have another wrinkle in that whole thing because Nate Diaz is rumored to be potentially fighting Conor on UFC 306 at the Sphere. Okay? Now I'll tell you exactly why that is possible and that could happen based on recent events that we have just seen. It's not impossible they could do. I know I said they won't do Chandler wrong, but now I don't think that that is a certainty, and I'll tell you why. And another thing we got to cover is the fact that Conor McGregor versus Cowboy. Cowboy was only paid $200,000 to headline there. There's a lot to unpack there, a lot to unpack. I knew he was getting paid much less than people thought, but if you watch my content consistently, you know I never talk fighter pay, ever. That's going to change today because that reframes everything about fighter pay for me. That story right there, and we're going to talk about it later on in the video. Now, before we get into it, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Sheath Underwear. Look at this website, man. They've got women's products now. They've got men's products. They've got a thing with Donald Cerrone, and I'm telling you, if you want to have a really tight package so that when you go to the weigh-ins like Conor McGregor, you don't have a, it's like, listen, man, I like to keep it tight. Sheath is your answer. They are aligned with our ideals and our principles. And if you go and shop on sheathunderwear.com today and use promo code FIRE and then send a receipt to realjesseonfire@gmail, you will get entered to win a pair of Jordans this month. And I only have 3 entries this month because I have only announced it once on a very obscure video. And thus, you have a pretty good chance to win. So sheathunderwear.com, buy anything on the website at all. Use promo code FIRE, send the receipt to realjesseonfire@gmail, get entered to win a pair of Jordans, and it's almost the last day of the month, so you got a good chance to win. Let's rock and roll. So I changed my mind. I'm going to talk about Conor's side piece first because this is going to be really fun. Okay, so really quick, there's this whole new thing with her, right? I guess we should probably start with this, and I'll let you see her explain herself in terms of her hanging out with Conor again and, the nature of their relationship. And then I will tell you how I know it's not true when they say that they're just friends. So let me just go ahead and show you this. But first I want to tell you about the nature of our relationship. I love all of you guys. And if you love me back, the way you could show me is by subscribing to the channel and clicking the like button on this video. I appreciate all of you guys.
Story: Conor McGregor has been accused of cheating on his wife. So Conor McGregor has been getting backlash once again and has been accused of cheating on his wife after spending another night out with professional boxer Ebanie Bridges. On X, Ebony posted these pictures from a night out with Conor, saying, "What an incredible night with Conor McGregor and Jasmina Zapatochna at the Black Forge Inn. Unbelievable food and atmosphere. Thank you everyone who came out. If you haven't been to the Black Forge Inn, you have to go. And don't forget to have a pint of Forged Irish Stout. I love Ireland." In the comments.
Now, right out of the gate, before we get into the comment section, if this were just, a hot, rack out and about girl that happened to be with Conor at the thing and post like, you guys gotta go to Black Forged Inn, I'd be like, maybe, maybe they're just friends. Maybe D was there, maybe they just have that kind of friendship. But I would say there's quite, actually, I'm not even going to show you the comments because it's just a bunch of people on Twitter saying he smashed, he's smashing for sure, he smashed. Okay, that's what the comments are. But let me show you why I say he smashed. Okay, so let's go here to this article, which is from May 24th, 2023. If you can't see that whole thing, it says Aussie boxing star Ebanie Bridges felt Conor was manhandling her in viral videos. Oh my goodness. He was just manhandling. Oh wait, so is that a different night too? So there's this one. Then there's the other night where, oh look at that, they're touching hands. Now that is, wow. Yeah, yeah. And so she responds, we are just watch flexing. It's, yeah, because you need to totally explain yourself if you're not getting smashed by Conor. Here's the thing, dude. If there has ever been a prototype girl who would want to be Conor's side piece, it would be a professional champion boxer who looks like that. Does she look like a flashy girl? Yes, she does. Like a hot, flashy girl? Yeah, she does. She's also a world champion boxer. Okay, so Conor is 100% her type. He is also the pinnacle of the sport that she has dedicated her career to. And she looks like she would think a guy like him is funny. I just realized I can't even make the point that I'm going to make in a second without showing you the rest of this. So let's actually look at these Twitter people.
Fight fans reacted saying, I know damn well these two are banging. Official thread says McGregor 100% taps it.
200%.
Jacob says Defo smashed.
100%.
HM says he's so shouting you. Another fan says McGregor leaks coming soon. Italian Stallion says, did he pull out? Danny Lee says Conor Smile says I smashed that LOL. Seth Jones says, what does D think of him being balls deep in the bomber? Mike says feel for his wife. If you've been with him, then shame on you, Ebony, knowing he has a wife. Remember, all you are to him is just another number getting used for his own satisfaction.
Not true. She's his girlfriend. She's his girlfriend. She's his actual side piece. And I bet you D knows, and I bet you D's kind of cool with it, dude. I got to be honest with you. Look at the life. Look at the life that Conor provides D. If every once in a while he goes out with his side piece, she doesn't go on the yacht. This girl doesn't get to go on the yacht. You know? If you think that there are no wives that can like live with this arrangement, you're crazy. There are so many wives that live with this arrangement. You know, the ones who have just accepted that it's like, okay, I can fight this, but what am I fighting? Like, what's my recourse? You know what I mean? Like, so he does it. Okay, I catch him. What am I going to, you're going to leave? Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. They love being Mrs. Conor McGregor. And as long as she knows that he doesn't, like, he's never going to leave her. He's never going to leave D for this chick. So D knows she's winning. Period. I'm just saying, like, that is the arrangement that lots of women have with dudes that are this famous. But hang on. I actually want to make the point. Hang on. Just watch what the, Ebony responds.
Anthony Evans says, out together again. Ebony responded back saying, that's what
friends do. That's what friends do. We just go out a lot together. Okay, so I want to show you one thing here real quick. Okay, so this is man. I really hope this doesn't get. I really hope this doesn't get like copywritten. But here you go.
Be friends. We're not gonna be friends.
Yahtzee. That, dude. That. But also there's another universal truth that I need to share with you guys. And you can say you're welcome after I share this with you. So a universal truth is that if you have a girl that looks like this, right? Like this is a girl and she says, yeah, he's just my friend and you're a wife or whatever. Like you're someone who's curious about the validity of, yeah, we're just friends. Good way to figure out if that's true, assuming that she's a celebrity or maybe even not, is you Google their name along with nude photos. And if you find a big cache of nude photos of that person, then you can rest for mother certain that she is not his friend, okay? There's no dude, okay? There are no guys that are friends with a girl who has a bunch of nude photos on the internet, okay? That's just not a thing. Like, I'm sorry, that's not a thing. Now, you might be able to find some outlier thing. Yeah, no, actually, we are friends. Okay, yeah, and you take her out by yourself like that? Get the out of here, dude. Who do you think you're talking to? She's not his fucking friend. That's his girl. That's his fucking girl, for sure. Not his everyday girl, but when they're in the same town girl. The, oh, hey, are you going to be at the whatever? Yeah, let's make sure we hang out girl. And he smashes the living out of that, for sure. And by the way, her nude photos are hot as just for the record. Now we get to the story where I can tell you for unequivocal certainty that Conor McGregor is in the middle of a contract negotiation with the UFC. Now there's no question. I had been speculating about this. I did a thing where, one of those things where I said, bombshell, now we know that Conor only has 2 fights left on his deal, which absolutely makes it certain that he is locked in a very heated contract negotiation with the UFC, and that's why he's not getting booked. And like that was one of the most confusing comment sections I've ever seen. It was like, like 70% of people wanted to converse about that situation. And then there was like, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30%. They're all, how is this a bombshell? I'm like, how is the fact that we've confirmed he only has 2 fights on his deal a bombshell? Like, that is I don't even understand how to answer that. Like, that is a massive piece of information. And nonetheless, now that we knew that, now we know for sure after this article that is exactly what's happening. They are locked in a contract negotiation. I'm going to tell you how I know. So Eddie Hearn says UFC should pay whatever it costs to get Conor McGregor back into the cage. Okay, so here's the deal. Eddie Hearn is not an enemy of Dana's at all. Like, him and Dana are friends, okay? Like, so this is not him. Like, he's not like one of these guys that is angling to juke Dana, which, by the way, oh my God, I cannot believe that I forgot to mention this. I have a video coming about Dana and Vince McMahon. I learned a lot about that situation. Vince McMahon had been attacking Dana White personally and attacking UFC for 20 years. I did not realize that it was so personal between the two of them. And so now I have a video coming that I've been researching since then that's going to frame this thing that happened to Vince McMahon in a way where, dude, who is a bigger player in the real game than Dana, dude? Dana might have done this to Vince. He might have buried Vince in this situation. You know, conspired with Ari to go bury him, dude. Take his company for him and send him down the river. I can't help but anyway. So that video is definitely coming. Actually, comment in the comments if that is a video that you're very interested in, because I will hurry up on it if so. But anyway, so Eddie Hearn is a friend of his, and like this is bottom line. Here's what you need to hear. Okay, this is from Eddie Hearn. I talked to Conor quite a bit. I believe he wants to fight. I still think he's going to want the deal to be right. There comes a point where sometimes you'll do a show where you have to give them what they want because it is in the best interest of the sport and the business. Maybe I can make more money on a small show than I do promoting Canelo Alvarez, but what does that mean to my business? What does that mean to DAZN? And what does it mean to my reputation with fighters and my opportunity to sign young Mexican fighters coming through? In many instances, you take a bath to deliver. If it was me, and it's not me, and Dana certainly doesn't need my advice, but I'm bringing Conor McGregor back whatever it costs. He injects an enthusiasm and vibrancy into the UFC that no one else can. There is no one in the sport who can make it happen for the UFC and MMA like Conor McGregor. When he comes back, the press conferences, the build-up, the value to the business, the ratings, the pay-per-view numbers all go up. That is a fact. I 100% agree with, with the sentiment for sure. I agree with the sentiment, but I don't know. Like here, this is the thing. Well, Eddie Hearn knows exactly what Conor's asking for sure. I don't. I don't. So like if Conor's like, I want $150 million per fight, I'd be like, oh, okay, tell him to go fuck himself. But if he's asking for something that is even moderately in the realm of reasonable, then I'm like, he's right, dude. He's 100% right. Because you put Conor in the mix and all of a sudden you start having all of these things that stem from Conor, which build, which build the numbers up. But again, I don't have any idea what he's asking for. It's possible that it's not about the numbers. Conor could be asking for a level of freedom that puts a threat to the UFC, because the truth is in reverse also. Like if you don't have Conor under control, he can be that big of a value to another business. You know what I mean? I will say this, if Conor has a sunset clause, I cannot stress enough. If there is someone in the world who knows what Conor's sunset clause date is, or if he has a sunset clause, if you tell me what the sunset clause date is, I will be so eternally grateful. And I will keep it off the record if you want it off the record. But if you want me to start speculating about what that means to the actual negotiation, you will not have an analyst that will be able to more properly put into context what his situation is. There is no one, absolutely not one person, I don't care who they are, no one in the world is able to properly contextualize this negotiation without knowing his sunset clause. Bottom line. And I'm telling you right now, you tell me what it is, I will be able to communicate the real situation to everybody much better and then speculate on what's actually going to happen. But also, I'm good at keeping secrets too. So I just really want to know. I really want to know. Anyway, let's move on to the Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor at the Sphere situation. So there have been reports now that they're looking at, well, at least that they're potentially looking at doing Nate Diaz versus Conor at the Sphere for UFC 306. Okay, so here's, like, I can't confirm this. I obviously have no information that anybody else, couldn't find just kind of looking around the internet. But here's what I can say is I always watch what the UFC does and how are they treating this guy? Are they treating this guy? They told this guy this, and then they did this. They told this guy this, and then they did this. And why I said there was no way that they would do Conor versus Nate before they would do Conor versus Chandler is because generally speaking, if the UFC guarantees someone something, then they end up doing it. The UFC has never wavered on whether or not they would do Conor versus Chandler next. They've never wavered on that at all. Here's the thing though, right? This UFC 300 situation gave us insight that we did not have before when it comes to big events like that. And what I think we have learned based on the fact that Bilal and Leon are not fighting on UFC 300 is that when it comes to these enormous events, they will prioritize getting the biggest fight possible on the card over something else. Is like, I'm sure that they'll take care. Like Chandler has waited so long. The UFC just threw him a bone on the WWE. You got to figure that they would take care of him. I still think it's going to be Conor Chandler, just for the record. If you made me bet who does Conor fight next, I would say Chandler for sure. The only thing is because of the UFC 300 thing, it's like, is it impossible? Is impossible that they would put Nate and Conor at the top of the bill? I don't think that's impossible. And here's the other thing too. Now that the story about Cowboy coming out where he only made $200,000 to headline against Conor McGregor in that fight. And that is a new data point that I need to talk about because it has reframed my position on fighter pay because there is a principle at hand here that is now on the wrong side of the fence for me. Where like normally I just go, look, I don't understand their business model, dude. That's not true. I don't know. I understand their business model. I don't have access to their books. I have no idea what they're making on this or that, what the profit margins are, etc. So when we start talking about John Jones is demanding this much money, I'm like, dude, I don't have any idea if that's reasonable or unreasonable or whatever, right? And when you talk about these guys on the prelims, they're like, dude, they're only making $80,000 for this fight. And it's like, all right, so how much should they get paid? I don't have access to their books, right? I don't have access to their books. I don't like these guys. If this guy disappeared, is it a big deal for the UFC? Like, does that change their business if that guy's not on the card? Of course not, dude. So like, is he worth more than that? Because he's replaced, like he's interchangeable. The guy is not a big enough star to where if he was not on the card, it makes any difference whatsoever. So is he worth more than $80,000? Like what's the line and where do you get there? This story is the one where I can just say unequivocally, the UFC is fucking them. That's just bottom line. And I would say that to anybody who asked. No, it doesn't even matter. They know that, dude. They know. But again, they are playing leverage positions. They are playing the position that they're in, which is like, all right, so if this guy will take this money to fight, why would we pay him more? Like, that's the bottom line. So how it changes, I don't know, dude. Whether it's collective bargaining or this lawsuit, I've made it pretty clear. The lawsuit is very problematic to me. Every single thing I read about it, I'm like, this is nonsense on the side of the plaintiffs and this is all anyway, whatever. But bottom line, Cowboy Cerrone making $200,000 to headline against Conor McGregor. Fuck that, dude. That is fucked up. And I'll tell you exactly why, dude. So I know exactly what UFC is thinking when they do that, right? When they offer him the $200K and they're, oh, we're going to get you a new deal, right? They are sliding an offer across the table that they know is a bullshit offer, right? It's a bullshit offer. But in their eyes, right? In their eyes, they're like, why would Cowboy be worth more than that? Like, this is what, we're bumping his pay. Right now he makes 150. Well, I'm offering him 200. That's a pay raise for him. Why would he be worth more than that? And it's like, they're like, if he won't take this fight, we'll just put someone else in there. It's like, right. Okay. So that's their logic, right? I'm telling you right now, that is their logic. They're like to where they can tell themselves that they're not like doing something that is just straight up immoral in the business. Is like, he's interchangeable. That's the whole entire fighter pay argument from the side of the UFC is this guy's interchangeable. If he wasn't, we would have had to give him a new deal. Just like Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, these guys that have new big multi-million-dollar deals. Okay. That is why those guys get those deals, is because they're not interchangeable. Okay. So they look at Cowboy. They're like, we don't need him for this event. We want him to fight Conor, but we don't need him. Right. So understood. But guess what, dude? Okay. So Conor is the total value of this card, right? Like Conor is the total value of this card. And so Conor's going to make whatever he makes, some, $3 million base, back end, and then a side letter for another 10 or something. You know what I mean? Like whatever Conor gets, plus proper 12 on the center of the octagon, like all kinds of stuff. But nonetheless, Okay? Whether Cowboy is interchangeable or not, he is a big enough name that you could put him on the other side of a top billing with Conor McGregor. He hasn't earned more than $200,000 for that? An event that sold 1.3 million buys? Come on, dude. There's no defense. You can't defend that position. There's no way. You can't defend that position. Other than to say, this is business. He accepted the offer. Now, I don't have a retort to that. I don't have a retort to that. And here's the thing, this gets into that same thing that I always talk about, which is like, why would the UFC pay anyone more than they have to, right? Like, why? Why would they? And you're going to have to come up with an answer for me that's not charity, because charity is not an answer in business. It's a cutthroat business in general. So if they slide an offer across the table to Cowboy and he signs it, then you're like, dude, he accepted the terms of the deal. How is it a bullshit deal? And it's like, all right, that's true, but it is a headlining fight with Conor McGregor on the other side. You know, like there has to be some kind of parity with other sports a little bit. You know what I mean? $200K? Like a Cowboy Cerrone? Like this guy's fought for you guys every time you've asked forever. So he'll accept the fight at $200K, like, okay, got it, dude. And you play the game like, well, if you win, then in the rematch, you'll do XYZ. And that is true. That is true. Okay. What like the flip side of this is that is also how they get these guys to take the less money. Like that's how Dustin got rich, dude. Dustin made $500K for his first fight against Conor, but with the rematch clause, he was going to make it enormous. And he made like $10 million for the rematch. You know, so they incentivize. It's like, look, dude, all you have to do is win. You know, all you have to do is win. But at the same time, the thing did 1.3 million buys. Cowboy went out there, he got starts. He is part of the headlining fight. You have to be able to sell Conor is fighting this person. $200K, dude. Like that's cold, man. I don't even I get it. It's business. That is cold. Cowboy doesn't deserve a better deal. Like you can't give him $500K or something, you know, like you know what I mean? He gets exactly what he got. Doesn't get anything different when he's headlining. Even the guys that are challengers make more than that, you know, like when they fought their way into a title challenger match and like, you know, they make the $350 or whatever it is, $200K, man. I don't know, dude, that is cold. I don't have any other thing to say about that other than it's cold. I never talk fighter pay. But that is a number where I'm just like, there's no way to defend that, you know, because I don't talk fighter pay normally because I don't have enough information. But there is no way to defend $200K to Cowboy for headlining against Conor McGregor. None. Like you cannot defend that. At least I can't, because I don't need to know anything else. There's no missing data. I don't talk about Conor's contract negotiation because I don't know his sunset clause. How can I possibly tell you what his leverage position is without knowing when his contract will end if he refuses to fight? Okay, Cowboy Cerrone, I don't need to know anything else. $200K headline. They sold 1.3 million. Come on, dude. Anyway, that is what I got, and I am very unhappy that Conor and Chandler are not on UFC 300 for the 100th time because I am going to be sitting in the front row of the lower section, very, very happy and excited for. I haven't been this excited for anything in a very long. Like I am so excited for 300. I can't even explain it to you. I am ecstatic. I hid a bunch of money in an account. Like I did it, like it's a long story. I did a thing, right, where I was earning money and I made it to where it was going into this other account. So I just didn't even look at it, right? Like I just forgot that I had it and it was my UFC 300 account. And it was just like, not even gonna look at it, not even gonna look at it, won't even look at it, won't even look at it. Don't know how much is in there, won't even look at it, won't even look at it, won't even look at it. And then it was time to book UFC 300 and it was like, all right, cool, hotel done, flights done, boom, front row seats, boom, done, let's go. And it's just like, it didn't even register in my regular finances because I had blocked that out completely. And that's what's up, dude. That's what's up. So we're going to be in section 19. If you guys want to come hang out, that is where we'll be. Section 19, you want to see us at the bar up there. Section 18, section 19, that is where we'll be. And that also, you didn't hear this from me, is where the fighters go in the locker room after the fights. So section 18 and section 19 is right where they come, wee-doo-dee-doo. And I found that out from someone at the UFC who is a total stud that we're going out to dinner with on Friday night. So hopefully he was right. You know, hopefully he was right. But anyway, so, oh my God. Someone just sent me the full video of that dude lighting himself on fire yesterday. Yikes. Anyway, that's what I got. I love you guys. You know, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Bye-bye.